To promote the manufacturing sector, the government had started with the PLI scheme in 2020. How far have we come with the Make in India initiative? To talk more on this, I am joined by B. Thiagarajan, who's the MD of Blue Star. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us on Business Today.
It's a pleasure interacting with you.
Sir, I'd start by asking you that, we have seen the PLI scheme was rolled out in 2020. So how has the performance been like, and have there been any gaps according to you? What's your view on this?
For the air conditioners, it's one of the very successful schemes. I think the manufacturing capacity has more than doubled from what it was in 2020. We were all dependent on China for imports. Now the value addition has reached about 70%. And there are few things that are yet to be accomplished. For example, copper. That copper tube production has commenced now with the three players investing in that. They are also part of the PLI, and I think in a couple of years that should be met with. There are electronics, and significant progress has been made. It's a question of few more items to be indigenized. That's where it is. Compressor is going to take time. I think it'll be 2028 by when we will be self-reliant, because some of the Indian players, including Blue Star, will have to find technology, will have to find partners to go and invest, and there is a scale issue there is a technology issue there. But otherwise, the PLI scheme is a very successful one. This morning you would have seen the DPIT secretary appreciating that.
So secondly, on US tariffs, what sort of implications can it have on our industries?
I don't think I understand that at all, because it is not about US announcing something. There are when US announces something, there is retaliatory measures by someone else, by tariff or by otherwise. So what is happening now is a total storm. It is completely out of control and chaos is going on, and therefore there is uncertainty. So when there is a storm, you have to only have food, water for next few days, and then you will think about what needs to be done. So we are all looking at short term. Like for example, in our case, summer supply chain is secured. Now wait and watch for you cannot act based on what is going on. But my personal view is trade wars are as harmful as real wars itself, for the simple reason it is not the companies, corporates or the stock market are going to suffer. It is a common man is going to be suffering out of it. It could be a textbook, it could be food. Eventually it will impact the consumers. All these what are going on.
Also the equity markets, we can see certain impact.
It can, but I am not worried. Stock markets can put up with, corporates can put up with, but what happens to the end consumer? He is being impacted either due to non-availability or by paying higher prices. I am of the view that trade wars also should be discussed by the global leadership, and it has to be resolved in one manner. It's a subject for G20 to debate and understand. WTO would have become irrelevant at this point of time, but the question is that how do we arrive at what is good for the world as a whole? I don't think one can cope with this chaos that is on.
The uncertainty in consumption, what sort of trends do you see in the consumption space? Do you see premium or, picking up or something?
The consumption growth for air conditioner sector has been good.
The overall industry is very low.
Yes, it is not only Blue Star. The whole industry is growing. Now, the question has been, there had been pain in FMCG, for example, or in other appliances. The hope is that there is some liquidity measures RBI has taken. Second is there is the income tax benefit that came through the union budget, and employment rate is going up now with some kind of manufacturing revival. So the hope is that there are green shoots across and it should continue to grow. That is the expectation. But we have seen other sectors going through the pain, including mobile phones.
What about the private capex picking up? When do you see that happening?
I think it is a wrong time to make an assessment for the simple reason whenever there is, let us say, an election, whenever there is war, whenever now there is a trade war, all will be waiting and watching. My view is that what is currently going on, everyone will take stock of and reboot what they want to. But the good news is that India is a happening place, and India will soon become the fourth largest economy, and we are at the right moment, and I think these turbulences will go away soon.
So India, recently imposed anti-import dumping duties on China. Then how do you see this move by the government?
See, all governments will have to do what is good for their country, and right now it's all tit for tat is going on. But I am of the view the at the end of the day, the global leadership will come together and arrive at some kind of equilibrium. And see why this is happening. The question was China had become over concentrated with the supply chain. Now the question is some rebalancing will have to happen. And eventually, what is good for the world? Good for the world is what I am good in manufacturing, I should manufacture. And I should give equal opportunity to everyone. And it is going to take another 6 months to 9 months for some understanding to happen. But the world has seen many crises, so this is not a new one. It'll be resolved.
Uh, what does India have to do to beat China in manufacturing? That's one question which the government has been focusing on manufacturing with PLI and all of those things. What do you think has to be done?
I don't think we should be looking at China alone. Broadly, whichever way you look at it, there are three challenges. Number one is the supply chain. It's not that you can make everything. You will be dependent on something or other. Like as a country, we are dependent on petroleum from somewhere, or chips have to come from somewhere, or some rare earth materials have to come like that. So, how do you, in air conditioning industry, it is a question of compressors or electronics. Now, first is that supply chain resilience will have to be tackled. Second is we have to become globally competitive. That can come through scale, and it will come through efficiency improvement and quality, and the by becoming competitive, it is with the highest quality standards how you can be the lowest producer. That was China's secret, correct? The third one is the innovation and R&D. And the third one is very important. We are talking manufacturing as if it will grow. But unless and until substantial investments take place in research and development, as a country we will not grow. Because if you look at any country that grew, when Japan grew or when the Korea grew, or when Europe grew, and US grew, all of them, if you see the GDP growth trajectory and the R&D investment trajectory, there will be a close correlation. Whereas we are at 0.65% of GDP, we are stagnant there. And we are thinking we will grow in GDP. I don't think it will happen. Both government and private sector will have to focus on research and development and innovation. And that is the only way you will be able to beat any other country, leave alone China. We have the necessary talent, but we are not focusing on innovation. And that is a subject, it is unfortunately ignored. When we talk about manufacturing and supply chain, we have to immediately focus on what is the, like for example, you may have shortage of copper, but the innovation can get you to some other material. You may talk about being expensive. Through innovation, you may be able to come out with a competitive product. And innovation and R&D often, I'm not saying always, often will not need huge capital. It is out of the human intellectual capital. And I think We have to focus on that, otherwise this won't happen.
Thank you so much for those insights.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.